So of course I've left the most important category for last, that is the category on text. So you can have the color property, so you can have color red, for example. And then we're not going to see the direction, it's really not interesting. Letter spacing increases or decreases space between characters in a set, in a text. So you can have this, so it's negative. So let's see what happens. So this is what happens. So you've got each letter starting 3 pixels to the left of where it was supposed to start. We've got double 2 pixels of separation, and we've got 0. It's normal. Okay, let's say with 2, and then go to the next one. Line height. Well, this is the line height. I'm not going to do it again. So we've got the line, normal line, and then there's like the interspace, the interline, in Microsoft Writer. So okay, and then we've got the text align, which is important, of course. So you've got a left, center, right, and justify. Again, you've got to see OpenOffice Writer. That is basic text alignment properties, text decoration. So you've got underline, overline, line through. That is interesting because I'm going to show you something. This is what happens, and the reason why I said it is interesting is that what this property does is the same thing as what we saw with HTML. So we had there was a tag that was doing the same thing. So it's the strike tag. So remember, this is what happened, and we had said at that time that this is a property, an HTML tag that can be substituted with CSS commands, and this is what happens. So so we can always have a CSS property for a formatting tag in HTML. And we've got text indent. So again, that is something like this. We've seen it already. So we've got the indentation. So you can have the same thing as we saw before earlier with margins. And again, it's like the quote. In HTML, we had the tag list called block quote. That does something like this, but we can use CSS properties in order to have indentation from left and right, so it does the same thing. So we don't have to use another an extra HTML tag. We don't have to use it or learn it. And we had again the Q tag, which is a mini quote. Yeah, that. Stuff like that, you don't have to use them, so you can only use 30 or 35 HTML tags and finish with that language. And then you've got text transform. So we've got capitalize, uppercase, and lowercase. We had something very similar with font. Let me go back first of all, and font, and we had variant, which is small caps. So here we had small caps, whereas with text. We had capitalize, so the first character of each word, uppercase, and lowercase. So I would expect all of them, so these small caps from the font properties and these text transfer properties to be together, but this is not the case. Then you've got vertical alignment. So you've got the text and then the alignment, so you can see this is top and this is bottom. Sorry, the text is top and the text is bottom, etc. I'm going through all these things quite fast because you don't have to see each one, what happens with each one. It's self-explanatory. And you've got white space, how a white space inside an element is handled. And here we see what happens with space. For example, we had said few tutorials earlier that it doesn't matter for HTML how many spaces, consecutive spaces you've got. So even if you write here in the code, in the text, something like this is going to be handled as one space, only one. It's the same thing. You see here. So we had a solution by using the pre tag. So we had more spaces than one, and it preserved the same formatting. And you can see that we can do this with CSS white space properties instead of using an extra HTML tag. So we've got no wrap and pre-line and pre-wrap. So it's not only about what happens with white space and what happens with line breaks, sorry. And the last one is word spacing. So you've got the white space between words, so you can separate. We have already decided on the spacing between the letters, and now we can define the spacing between words. Okay, so letter spacing, and now it's word spacing. So let's say like that. That's going to be a lot. So here you are. And those are the text properties for CSS. So you can see it's quite easy again. And again we have CSS 3 properties that we're not going to touch. So this is the last tutorial on CSS categories, and now we're going to see we're going to have a tiny exercise, and I'm going to ask you to do something, and there's going to be the solution in the next tutorial.